I got a lot of stuff to talk about. First starters though, like I said, if you're new here, you're just watching this, click that subscribe button, subscribe to my channel. My goal is to go on live once every day. Go to live every day. Post a video once a week. Post a couple of shirts throughout the week. Things I need to work on. I ain't gonna lie. I got my discipline down for my Instagram, right? Where my Instagram on there, I'm able to post every single day. I'm posting my story every single day, commenting, all this stuff like that. Just gotta build up that for YouTube. But you know, I'm trying to grow them both at the same time, pretty much. But yeah, I am seeing a lot of what's the word I'm gonna say? Success in getting on live every single day. So gotta work on that. But yes, let's talk about this. So first, today for the Bible, I was studying Isaiah. Well, the verse of the day was Isaiah 48, and it said something about like grass withers, flowers fade, but the word of God lasts forever. In some type of terms, right? Just going to say this. Eventually, it reminds me of this thing, right? So, you guys know, I used to play college basketball. So when I was training for basketball, I had a trainer, right? And my trainer, his nephew is Bones Highland. He helped train Trayvon Duval. Like, these are some good names, stuff that, you know, people that he's trained or been in contact with or know. And as I was, you know, pretty much talking to him and stuff, right? We were understanding of this. He would always say, he always liked to teach us not to just be hard workers, right? He didn't want to just make workers. He wanted to make not just workers, he wanted to make thinkers, right? That was his biggest thing, to make thinkers. And he would always say, yo, do you know how to become immortal? And I was thinking, he would always ask us like questions like this. And as a kid, you know, you kind of thought like, oh, this is kind of weird or whatever. But then, you know, as time goes on, you start to really understand that he really was trying to challenge your mind into thinking, right? So he would say, do you want to be immortal? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess so. You know what I mean? Everybody has that fear of, you know, one day you do have to leave this earth, which is crazy to think about, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, just now, it just hit me again. Like, I'm living life, I'm continue to be better or stuff like that. But you know, eventually one day you do pass away, right? You do die. So I'm just sitting here thinking about it, right? And he would say, yo, the way to become immortal, right, is to leave a legacy, right? And by the way, I see a lot of people joining right now. If you're new here, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get daily posts on leadership. You get one video once a week on leadership, connection to the Bible, going live every single day, and things of that nature too as well. But yes, so he was like, yeah, become immortal, right? You gotta, like, the way to become immortal, right, is to, like, that's just how you become immortal, though. Like, you want to leave a legacy. So I'm thinking, like, people like Martin Luther King, for example, right? MLK. We all know who MLK is, and his legacy continues to go on even after the fact that he died, right? And why is that? Because of the legacy he left, because of the plenty of speeches that he's given, because of the word of God and his devotion to God, right? That's the reason why he was able to become immortal. And it goes back to Isaiah 48, where it's like I said, grass withers, so grass eventually dies. It does. I'm looking at some dead grass right now as I'm driving, right? Flowers fade. Eventually, flowers are going to die too as well. They're going to look colorful. We even die, you know what I mean? But the word of God, it does last forever. So if you continue to keep God first, if you continue to let him guide you through this thing called life, you're going to be immortal, right? If that's what it's meant to, right? God doesn't give more or less than what you can handle. If he believed can handle it, he's going to give you it. And that's literally just facts, right? Like, this literally is just facts, right? That, like, God will not give you more or less than you can handle, right? Jesus is dead. Not sure what you mean by that, though. But yeah, like, yeah, I mean, he will not give you more or less than what you can handle, right? That's like the biggest thing, right? So if you want to become immortal, as a person or anything, right? You want to, if you want to, oh yeah, they're drawing wide open. What in the world? But if you want to become immortal, you have to know that you have to leave a legacy. You have to leave a legacy, and that's something that I was noticed too as well, right? So yesterday we also had a picnic. So at my church, right, they had this picnic. Instead, well, not at the church, but they had this picnic and tickets where they was getting a free ice cream to the kids. There was free ice cream. They had some fried fish, some freaking, well, not to the kids, anybody really. If you had a wristband, you got free ice cream. There's fish going on. There was they had sodas, they had hamburgers, hot dogs, hot sausages. That joint was just, it was jumping. I ain't gonna lie. It was a fun event, right? We was playing basketball. That was cool, right? And all that stuff, again, goes back to, because, you know, I went out to eat with my mentor, one of my mentors, and he was talking about how, like, their whole goal is to grow the church, right? Or grow the community of it. But he's like, how do you do it? I'm just like, yo, like, the thing that he does well is he makes church cool. Like, make church cool again, right? How many times, and you can speak from your example, right? If you're a Christian, how many times have you went to church and you just felt like it was this boring thing? All the old people just did it. Someone just sat up, they spoke at the top, and it was just like, they weren't even speaking about real stuff sometimes. It was just like, they just up top, just like making it all like not cool. Like, they're not making it all like, yeah, they're just making it strict and all this. It's like, that stuff's corny, bro. Not corny, like, not corny in a bad thing, but it's just like, bro, like, a lot of times you make it people not, when you make church not cool, you make people not interested. Like, you gotta make church interesting, because it is interesting, right? The gospel is interesting. It really is. But you gotta tailor to your audience, just like you do anything, even in business, right? So that's what I was kind of talking to my mentor about. I'm like, bro, if you want to freaking do good, you gotta make church cool again. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Please don't get weird. Like, you gotta make church cool again. Like, that's really the biggest thing for me. I was like, bro, you gotta make church cool again. So that's what we were pretty much talking about, is making church cool again. Yeah, that's what we went out, and that's what yesterday was. We was all out there hooping. What's going on? Music Glitz, man. Make sure you subscribe. Like, if you're new here, again, subscribe to the channel. Like I said, it's gonna get some daily live videos, which I gotta get better at that, but I'm going to. Daily live videos, daily posts on my YouTube. You're getting all that stuff, right? You're gonna get all the daily live videos, posts on YouTube, videos once a week, shorts a couple times a week and stuff. But yeah, that's what we were pretty much doing. We was out there hooping now. I ain't gonna lie, bro. My legs was tore up though. Legs was tore up from out there hooping, getting some good bumping. What do you talk about, man? Oh, right now I'm talking about this, right? About how you can make church cool again, right? Well, for one, when I'm on YouTube, when I'm on my live, I'm not gonna lie, I use that joint like a diary. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm always just talking about my day, talking about some different things I learned, because I know it says to be the salt and the light, right? So I don't go over here and just teach things. I just talk about my life, and then my life becomes the lesson, I guess. About how my pastor, they do a good job of making church cool again, right? I don't know what your experience, I don't know if you're even Christian, to be honest with you, but I don't know what your experience is when it comes to church. I mean, I would love for y'all to drop like your comments below, like what your experience is with actually going to church. But yeah, and it was cool yesterday because we ended up coming together. We ended up having like a nice little cookout and stuff like that. Sounds good, you know, seriously, not for real though. Bro, it was cool. Like, it was cool going out there, get some food, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like we're all in community, hooping with the kids, all this, like it was good. It was a good vibe. It was a good vibe. It was a good bump. It was cool though. I definitely enjoyed it. Yesterday was Sunday, so I really just chilled. I went and watched the Eagles. Yo, if any Eagles fans in here, man, listen, go Birds all